Hello students, let us continue with the methods of flotation in the primary market. So what if a company wishes to issue some securities like debentures, equity shares, preference shares or its deposit to the general public? It has many ways to choose from. So the first and the foremost way to issue securities for the first time in the market is through the first method known as IPO or initial public offer or offer through prospectus. Prospectus means any document or say a leaflet or say a bunch of papers or just an invitation to the general public saying or inviting the general public to subscribe into its shares. A prospectus would describe all the details about the issue, why does a company wishes to issue that particular security in the market, and what is it going to do with that fund collected. Everything is written down in the prospectus for the general public to read and know. First such way of doing it is IPO, initial public offer. This is the most popular method of raising fund by public company. Mostly the public company follows this method for issuing securities in the market. There are other ways also, but this is the most popular one to make sure that whatever fund you have floated, whatever size of fund you have floated in the market gets subscribed. This is the process through which the public companies raise funds in the primary market by issuing financial instruments. The company issues prospectus through advertisement. These advertisements you can see on the road also in form of boards or hoardings or in the leading newspapers or magazines, which appeals the public to subscribe for the issued. So this issue would entail the plans, modernization or expansion plans, or the company which is coming up in the market for the first time and it may wish to invest something into fixed asset. At that time it needs a lot of funds. That funds can be collected through IPO. The contents of prospectus must be in accordance to the provisions of the Companies Act and SEBI disclosure. Right, so prospectus sometimes becomes a booklet because SEBI guidelines, that is Securities and Exchange Board of India, and Companies Act 2013 would require a company to furnish each and every detail about the company, right from the introduction of the company to say how would the fund be used which is collected through IPO, and also details of all the board of directors and financial details as well as past data of the company must have to be shown in the prospectus. This is so because company takes money from the public without giving any collateral or any mortgage asset. Right, we are subscribing into companies equity shares. At that time we do not look for the mortgage, we do not ask company to pledge anything against the shares we buy, and this money once collected would be in the hands of company, and company is in having a freedom to utilize it in the way it wants. So to make sure that there is no fraud from the corporate side and to protect the general interest of the public, SEBI and Companies Act would require the board of directors or the management of the company to furnish everything in the prospectus. The company raising funds through public must be listed with at least one stock exchange and get the issue get the issue underwritten. So once you are collecting your funds through equity or debentures from IPO route, you must get listed on any one exchange. The reason being that the shareholders can trade your shares, can sell later your shares in the market. So once you are present in one of the stock exchanges, public can generally do it via that exchange. Assume that once you collected the money, you allotted the shares to your whoever had applied for it, so that person would become your shareholder. And what if at the later stage that shareholder wishes to sell your shares? So you must be present on at least one exchange, like we have National Stock Exchange or Bombay Stock Exchange or many regional stock exchanges. So on that platform later your buyer of shares can sell the shares, or at a later date if new investor wishes to purchase, he can do it so via the share market. The next is offer for sale. Under this method, public companies offer the financial instruments to be issued to issuing houses or stockbrokers at an agreed sale price. These intermediaries resell the securities to investors. Thus, in offer for sale, companies indirectly raise finance from public with the help of intermediaries, and this would save itself from the formalities and complexities of an IPO. So this is sale en bloc. Sale en bloc means as a company you do not approach general public directly like we used to do in IPO. We used to say approach public directly by issuing prospectus. But in offer for sale, we won't be inviting general public. Rather, we would appoint intermediaries. The intermediaries are the broking houses normally. So these broking houses would buy the shares from the company and it would resell to the general public. So a company does not have to deal with individuals like public shareholders. It just have to deal with a few broking houses for its issue. So a company can totally bypass all the Companies Act or SEBI Act guidelines, which are very complex as far as IPOs are concerned, and go directly to the broking house and collect the money. So it is a kind of issue or offer only, but not direct offer, an indirect offer via broking houses. So it helps the company to raise finance without say going into the nitty-gritties and complexities of collecting funds through IPO. Next comes private placement. Under this method, normally the companies raise funds by issuing securities to institutional investors and selected individuals. In this method, there is no need to follow the formalities and nitty-gritties of public issue, thus facilitate to raise finance quickly and at lesser cost. This method is followed by companies who cannot afford the floating or any other mandatory, non-mandatory expenses related to public issue. So here you don't approach broking houses, you don't approach general public, but you directly look for the individuals or the corporates which can provide you fund. So you may share your business detail with them, and if they find that this company has a good future and good growth prospects, then it may, or the group of such corporates or such companies or such high net worth individuals, HNIs, they are known as HNIs, high net worth individuals or corporates, may give you money by buying your shares. So this is, as the words say, private placement. You place your shares privately to these individuals and corporates and get money from them directly without involving broker or general public. So this is a quicker way unless you get some investors. So these investors are called private placement agencies or individuals who would provide you the funds provided given that they see you some potential in your business and good return on the money they are investing in you. So that is private placement. It is a quicker way. Some examples of institutional investors are Unit Trust of India, life insurance or general insurance corporations. Normally even mutual funds also do buy shares of such companies through private placement route. Next is rights issue. Rights issue refers to the issue of new shares to the existing shareholders in accordance to the terms and conditions of the company. The existing shareholders can use this privilege to apply for a new shares in proportion to the number of shares held by them. So right share means basically the right of the existing shareholders to get the new shares if issued by company through this way. So what does company do? Say a company already has some good amount of shareholders with it because it had already gone through the process of IPO. But now second time, what if the company wants money through the equity share route? It cannot issue shares to the general public in form of IPO. It can do it. There is another way called FPO, but that's not in our syllabus. So what if we do not want to follow the route of FPO also? So this option, rights issue, is a good option. Here you ask your existing shareholders that we would be offering you the shares at a price lower than the market price. Are you interested in buying? So if they say yes, you have to issue shares in proportion to what they are already holding. And in this way you can collect or raise funds from your existing shareholders without involving any new shareholder and diluting your further control. Right? As you know that equity shareholders are the owners. So more shares you issue, it means more owners you are involving in your business. Hence more interference and more dilution of control. But if you ask your existing shareholders to buy the new shares, it won't dilute your control. So it would save again the company from formalities and complexities of an IPO. What if the existing shareholders refuse to take up the new shares? In this case, company can offer shares to general public, right? So this is done to protect the control and capital share of existing shareholders, because if new shareholders takes place or enters your management, that would dilute the existing shareholders dividend ratio also. The next is eIPO. eIPO is nothing but the first method only IPO, but conducted through electronic platform. Nowadays mostly all the IPOs are conducted over electronic market. eIPO is a method of raising finance by issue of capital to the general public through the online system of the stock exchange. The company enters into agreement with the stock exchange to offer its securities and appoints brokers who take forward the issue with the registrar having electronic connectivity with the stock exchange. The lead manager, means the manager who would coordinate the whole issue, would see that all the intermediaries related to the issue are connected well through the online platform. For eIPOs, the company has to follow certain conditions, like it has to enter into agreement with the stock exchange. That stock exchange must have electronic platform. It has to appoint brokers who are SEBI registered brokers to accept the investors' applications, because once you float the issue in the market, you have to mention that general public can approach which broker. So that broker has to be SEBI registered and authenticated broker, so people can submit their application to this broker only. The company also has to appoint a registrar to the issue. As we know, the registrar means a person who would maintain the register of these companies having to issue equity shares through eIPO, and that registrar also will have to be having the electricity connectivity or electronic platform for connecting with the exchange. The company has to apply for listing of its securities on any exchange other than the exchange through which it has offered its securities. So this is a unique point here. Normally, through all the previous method, you have to get listed to say only one stock exchange. But here there are two stock exchanges involved. One through which you float your issue, because it is online, so you have to have a stock exchange involved with you so that you can float your issue in the market. And second exchange is the exchange on which you would get listed after you collect your money through eIPO. Like a company issued equity shares in the market and public subscribed into it. So a company now has money and people have shares. So that shares must be traded or must be given a platform to be traded by the company, and that platform is a stock exchange, which is not the current exchange through which you had floated your issue, but it should be on any other stock exchange. Like if you had appointed NSE for your eIPO, then you have to get listed on any other one exchange other than NSE. That is, you can choose BSE or any regional stock exchanges, right, so that people can trade over that platform. This is to minimize the malpractices and fraudulent activities by the brokers and company. So this is about eIPO. Now in the next video I will be explaining about secondary market. Let me just give you a glance. We are studying financial market right now, in which we completed money market and a part of capital market. In capital market, the part we completed is primary market, that is new issue market, and we studied 5 methods of flotation in the market. We studied IPO, offer for sale, private placement, rights issue, and eIPOs. In next video, I will be explaining about secondary market, in which trade happen. In the new issue market, a company issues and public buys. So that is one time event. But now what if that public wishes to sell the shares, or a new group of people who want to buy the shares who could not get allotment in eIPO or IPO? So those who want to buy the shares of that company, newly established company, or the ones who want to sell the shares of that company, it has to have certain market, and the company also has to get listed so that people can trade into its shares. So that platform, that market, normally stock exchange, is also known as secondary capital market. In my next video, I will be explaining how a secondary market plays an important role into a company and investors' financial assets.